right? Nothing comes to us. But every time the publisher prints, I say, "Menu 100 kitaban bhej de," because I want to gift it to someone. That's what I get. But anyhow, these 2 books are there. Recently, and when publishers do it, publishers take the price up when a product sells, right? So these books have really gone up in price because they've gone into 7th reprint, each of them. These kind of books don't go more than 2 reprints. So the prices are going up, but then I have always felt that it should not be overpriced. So recently, just about 4 months back, we released this Punjabi version. We've taken both the books, combined it into one book. Punjabi version, Visarya Virsa, Pakistan with Sikh Virasat. It's now available, and on the website I'll give you the link. You can order from there also. It's a low-priced edition. Quality is the same, but 2 into 1. Now, I'm not calling it as... A lot of people introduced me, and thank you for not introducing me like that today. Is Guru Amardeep ne Pakistan vich Gurdwareyan utte kaam kita. In 2014, no, I never thought it was ever a book on the Gurdwaras. Because I want to correct here, legacy, virasat, is not religion or mazhab. Are we clear here? Legacy is not religion. Religion is a subset of legacy. When your people were living in the lands of Indus River, they were not just believing in religion. They were artists, they were sculptors, they were architects, they were musicians, there was interfaith aspect. There was an entire potpourri of things. When the lands are taken away from you, and when you don't have an access, when you start getting an access, you only want to go, of course, to the place where Guru Nanak is born. With all due respect, we do want to go, all of us want to go. But that doesn't mean that that's the only virasat that I have. My military traditions churned in those lands. And we'll talk in the second session. A huge amount of military tradition. So therefore, this is not Gurdwaras of Pakistan. Don't mistake it as that. Gurdwaras are a part of it. But this is legacy in Pakistan, the remnants. A lot of people have, prior to these 2 books, I give full credit to Iqbal Kaisar Sahib of Pakistan, who did a book in black and white pictures, and it inspired me. I hope my works inspire someone else. I hope someone else's work inspires someone else, because it's a continuum of journey, right? But prior to Iqbal Kaisar Sahib, there was only 2-3 versions of books. They were focused on the functional Gurdwaras of Pakistan done by Pakistan establishment, and therefore they will be biased because they want to project what they want to project. Iqbal Kaisar Sahib shook the system by producing a book in black and white pictures, no story inside it, but just plates of some good books, and I think he did a great work, but it was still not legacy. It was Gurdwaras. So these books were the first one after partition in 2014 that were covering the topic from a legacy perspective. And after that, some more people have now done it. Some people have got inspired and others have done it. But I can tell you, I know all the authors. I don't want to boast here, but I can tell you, till date, there are only 2 people who have done the walk the talk. One is Iqbal Kaisar Sahib, who on his cycle was clicking these photographs of these Gurdwaras in black and white. In 1999, he published it. Due respects to him. And these 2 are the second books. After that, some books have come about. They're all pictures that have been sourced and compiled. There's a difference in compilation and there's a difference in walk the talk. It comes from the heart. That's what these are. To me, what they did was they shaped me. Because from a childhood, I was living in the lands of Indus. I'm choosing not to call it Pakistan. My forefathers' lands were not divided. The lands of Indus. I was living there, and when the time came, I went and I documented what I had to document. But what they taught me, it was not easy. I've started talking now, by the way, since 2014, and we are sitting now in 2025. It's only 2 months back that I've openly started talking. I have faced a lot of challenges. This has not been easy. Making of those 2 books, by the way, after the first book, when you call a spade, you call lost heritage a lost heritage because you have no control over it, people on the establishments will not like it. I have been banned multiple times to enter Pakistan, but some energy was helping me. I don't know why that energy was helping me. It's different to go to Nankana Sahib and bow your head, get into Balochistan, get into Sindh, get into Gilgit-Baltistan, get into Para Chinar. You'll know what it is. I've been banned multiple times. I never used to tell these stories because I'm not here to break people. I'm here to tell a story which unites us, oneness. But now I don't hesitate because I face the same problem on the other side of the border, because when you do some of the work of magnitude, then people will always suspect, how did he do it? So if you're going to face the consequences on both the sides, then I might as well talk my heart out. I've crossed the borders. I'm not facing this problem because I've done nothing wrong. If someone is going to be intelligence, people have to read the works, have to see the docu-series to understand there's nothing inherently inside it which is wrong. But if they're not going to do the job and they're only going to do the job of just flagging you, then I'd rather tell people what I have faced. So I've only recently started talking. So it's not been easy. But what these two books taught me was what led into this, is the fearlessness. Something is working for you. And if that something is working for you, should you push the envelope and now get into doing what it is Guru Nanak docu-series. Now, I'm not here to talk about Guru Nanak docu-series, and I'm going to just show you a 2-minute trailer and get into some insights from the docu-series about oneness. The topic today is oneness, right? But it's coming from the work that's been done on Guru Nanak docu-series. So I'm going to show you a 2-minute trailer, but this was, I think, why I was born. You don't come to your journey. At 17 years, the journey started with doing something different, right? That's why I say, keep doing. If you have to like doing gardening, become the garden. This is where it came and culminated. We are doing other projects now, but to me, this was it. So I'm going to show you a 2-minute trailer here, but this was a mammoth effort. Pakistan, even after being banned when the gates opened, now you entered with drones. You entered with big cameras. It's a 4K format, right? How did you do it? And it's not a narrative of Nankana Sahib, Panja Sahib, Kartarpur Sahib, for which we feel proud even today. This is about getting into Balochistan to the Hinglaj Shakti Peeth, from where Guru Nanak is having a dialogue with the Jogis, and then going to Mecca. It is about going to far-flung places. You will face a lot of problems, but it happened. And then it happens in Afghanistan. It happens in all the other countries. So we'll talk about that. Let's see this 2 minutes and then get down to oneness.
Guru Nanak, the 15th century spiritual leader, is a guiding force for many. He spent over 2 decades traveling to distant lands to engage in philosophical and social dialogues with people of diverse cultures and belief systems. Through the medium of words and music, he gracefully imparted experiential insights, fearlessly challenged the binary constructs of society, and relentlessly opposed gender, religious, racial, and class inequalities.
My name is Amardeep Singh. I retrace the life events of Guru Nanak as narrated in the earliest historical texts.
गुरु नानक देव जी ने हमको परम पिता परमात्मा का नाम बताया.
He had his own message of oneness of humanity, and that cut across all religions.
530 years ago coming, on uncharted lands, but is still making such a big impact, an impact which not only had permanence, which was carried on.
So 24 episodes available in 5 languages on the website thegurunanak.com. Right, so my question before I go further, so this is the website thegurunanak.com, and from here you will get YouTube. It's been given free of charge. Can I just get the hands risen up for how many people have seen the 24 episodes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 24, about 8 people. This is higher than most of the places that I've gone to. This is higher. I get 2 to 4 people. How many have seen at least one episode? This is also higher. Something is happening in Down Under. Okay. How many are not aware of it at all? Just don't hesitate. Just raise. I'm not looking. Okay. All right. Great. So, those who are not aware, that means we as a community have not spread the message. Those who have seen it, thank you so much. You are the advocates. There is zero marketing budget inside this. It's not a commercial endeavor. It's given to you free of charge. आज अगर पंजाब के अंदर एक पिक्चर बनती है 50 करोड़ की पिक्चर बनती है and that commercial venture is being made to make 200 crores out of it, and we want to buy the tickets and we want to spread the message, we want to talk about it, and we want to do everything about it. It's a $3 million US dollar project given to you free of charge. I have no money, not even $1 to spend on advertisement, because $3 million has been spent. It's a sunk cost. Who's going to advertise it? You. And I'll tell you one thing, it's the non-Sikhs who are writing to us more. So sometimes I believe that, I wonder that are we as Sikhs not expressive? I don't know, don't get me wrong. Are we not expressive? I'm not looking for expression, by the way, I'm not looking for expression. Are we not expressive, or are we just not seeing it? And this raising of hands is a validation of that, right? So unless you see it, unless you embrace it, there's a lot of work that's gone inside it, right? And I was told, and when I was doing MBA in the University of Chicago, it's something that they say is that our economics professor was saying, never give anything free of charge. Because if you give something free of charge, the value reduces to 0. This proves it. Right? Okay. So anyhow, so I can only humbly request you, see it, go to this website. There is a YouTube link also. There are 5 languages, the playlist is lying there. We thank the people who supported us. Not a small project. This project has run on a parachute model. Budgets would be finishing off right under, and some parachute would open and we'll start swimming again, right? And then finishing off, something would come up. 5 years we lived like that. And so your responsibility you need to fulfill, right? I'm not here to fulfill. We moved on to the other project. It really doesn't matter. The ocean is there. I'm not going to make you wear the swimming suit to go inside the ocean. You have to wear your own swimming suit and go inside, right? So that's all I want to say. Okay. So let's start with the oneness. But I want to just lay down a few things here. For those who are seeing the Guru Nanak docu-series, I'll be upfront. It's best to be upfront and blatant. I have no idea where Guru Nanak has traveled. We've done a 24-episode docu-series. It's a legacy documentation, and I'm telling you, I have no idea where he's traveled. I'd rather start with that point, because I'm here to tell you a methodology that we have adopted. I'm going to tell you the methodology, and whether you want to stick to that methodology or you want to add to that methodology, you're free to do that. But this is how we approached it. Look, Guru Nanak was born 1469, lived up till 1539, a young age of 70 years by today's standards. Very young age. And I'll tell you why I find this as a I keep going back to this number. My wife doesn't like me to say this, what I'm going to say right now. But the fact is, I'm 58 years old. If Guru Nanak is my benchmark, whom I've spent so much of life, then we have 12 years left. If each project takes 5 years to do, there's not much time left. You know where I'm going? We have to be always cognizant of this fact, that the energy that's giving it to you, recognize, thank it, do your best. There's not much time. Guru Nanak, born 1469, 1539, does 4 udasis. I've written it as Odyssey, because there's no word in English that can describe what Udasi means. Can someone tell me what you mean by Udasi? Let's just have an interaction. There's nothing right or wrong. Hanji?
Travels.
Travels. Another attempt?
In search of.
Hanji?
In search of.
In search of, okay. Alright. Udasi is a word. I've written Odyssey, it's not Odyssey. Because ये मैं English audience उससे कर रहे हैं, right? Udasi is a state of virha. Virha or birha. In Hindi say virha, in Punjabi say birha. Verb becomes a birha. Birha is a state of internal dissatisfaction with the status quo. Things around me are all looking the same and I'm internally torn apart with, I want to do something more. Guru Nanak, who calls himself Betala and Bhutna. There's a Shabad of him, koi kahe Betala, koi kahe Bhutna, right? Is torn apart. He's given us a lot as a guiding post. But his own state was in a state of birha. Birha is when you're in search for something deeper. And that results in a state of what you call as udasi. I was in UK and in 2019 and there was an exhibition, Guru Nanak's Travels, and the heading was The Melancholy Travels of Guru Nanak. I said, you just got it wrong. Melancholy is sadness. Udasi is not sadness. Birha is not sadness. Birha is a beautiful state where you are going to plant a seed which is going to sprout into something that's going to give you beautiful. Birha is that state. But it is a state of discontent. We all go through it in our life. If you don't have discontent, nothing will sprout. Agree with that or not? So Guru Nanak's Udasi is basically a state of discontent. He does the first Udasi, goes east and south, 12 years. North, he goes to up in the Himalayas for 4 years. Third Udasi, another 4 years, Islamic world. Fourth Udasi, around Punjab and Rajasthan. And then he comes and settles at a place called, along the river Ravi, place called narratives get conditioned in the mind. In the oldest text, there is no place as Kartarpur. The place's name is Jammanwali. That's fine. I'm not here to shake the system. Even I call it Kartarpur. What I'm saying is, somewhere down the line, mind gets conditioned, old gets lost, new comes in, replaces, and that's the basis that I'm going to start the next few. Oneness, when you're talking about the oneness that we are being taught about, and the oneness of Guru Nanak, there is a bit of a disconnect out here. And I'm going to talk about that. So this is where I'm going to start. Jammanwali is the place where Guru Nanak settles down. And today no one knows Jammanwali. So what is the methodology that we adopted? Methodology is, Guru Nanak born 1469, 7 decades after his life, people start writing about him. With the first literature being Bhai Gurdas's Vars. But Bhai Gurdas is not writing so much that I can make a 24 episode docu-series. Now Guru Nanak has written nothing about history. He writes some insights, we'll come to that in the next section. But he writes nothing about history. Guru Nanak is giving you spirituality, about life, skill sets, what you need to acquire to live with life, guiding post. 7 decades after his life, and okay, by the way, if you have to make a docu-series, there are 3 sources you can take. One is, if Guru Nanak had written about his life, there would be an autobiography. Guru Nanak's Shabads are not autobiographies. They are deeper reflections on life that we all need to incorporate in our own lives to learn something as a guiding post. Then there is a biography. If someone writes about someone, it becomes a biography. Guru Nanak is accompanied by Bhai Mardana. Has Bhai Mardana written anything about his companion? You don't have a biography also. The third texts are in English, जिसनो असी जन्म साखी literature कहते हैं. English इस इन्हों किया जाता है. For those in the academic circle will know the term hagiography. Anyone heard the term hagiographies? Hagiographies are when someone writes about their revered being. That's known as hagiography. And hagiographies will always be biased. Agree or no? Do you think I'm going to write someone whom I really love and I aspire anything negative about that person? Not that the person is negative. That's not what I mean. But hagiographies, you have to read them with a bias that they are biased. And our only sources are Janam Sakhi literature about Guru Nanak and his Shabads, which he has written. And hagiographies are written 65 years after his life, and up to 150 years after his life, the hagiographies that are written, the Janam Sakhis, there are only two people traveling in that, Guru Nanak and Bhai Mardana. There's no Bala also traveling in it. After 150 years, there's a third person who starts traveling with him. So that means hagiographies are creating biases. And then the myths and mythologies after 150 years keep increasing to the point today the hagiographies are in WhatsApp University and Facebook University. Anyone can go and stand anywhere and send Guru Nanak there. Sometimes after doing this entire series, we wonder, did Guru Nanak come here and therefore you made the site? Or did you make the site and then Guru Nanak came here? You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking rationality here. Sorry if you don't touch anyone's faith, but these are the things you have to, methodology has to come from there. So we said 65 years after his life, 65 to 70 years, by Gurdas's war, up to 150 years is the only text we will follow. We will make some variations. Because when you're doing such a big work, you will be conflicted. And you will make some variations. But that's the primary source you'll follow. Now, as per that earlier source, Guru Nanak's travels are in geographies that today are 9 countries. Pakistan, I'll go that way first. Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, on top Tibet, part of China now, but Tibet, India, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. 9 countries as per texts written up to 150 years. Now, if someone feels he has been to Vatican, you're free to create another docu-series and make it. I'm not stopping you. But I don't want to have a dialogue on that because I've told you my methodology. There's nothing that Guru Nanak has written about his life. Clear? So if someone feels, yaar Kenya nahi cover kita, Nepal nahi cover kita, I've told you my methodology. Clear? Now, as we travel, I'm telling you up front, don't replicate the journey that we have done. Because you will not find Guru Nanak there. Guru Nanak refutes every physical journey that you take in search of something. It's internal. Do not replicate. Caution. Go at your own risk, you'll find nothing. Search Guru Nanak in his words. And if I'm going to stand here with a docu-series that's only preaching, that's giving the preaching message, you will not, अजय तो 8 बंदे ने देखी है ना, 8 भी नहीं देखते. Because I'm not a preacher. So we have to go inside, make a wow factor, National Geographic kind of a format, through those sites, Mecca, Kailash, Jagannath, wow you to leave those subtle messages on 2 lines of 260 Shabads of Guru Nanak, through which we will unfold and understand Guru Nanak. That's the only purpose. I've told you the whole methodology. Now if you go back, put on these docu-series and start seeing it, you'll find multiple things to learn from it. I'm not trying to sell anything. Just go and see it for yourself, right? Now we come to the oneness message. Guru Nanak travels these areas. I've already talked about it. I'm going to move on. But the oneness message that I'm going to actually talk about, here's how it's going to go. This presentation. I'm going to start at the top first. Philosophically, at the top. What does Guru Nanak mean by oneness? Then we're going to go down in the society. Okay? We'll cover various aspects of society. I can continue for this next 5 hours, but I have limited time. So we'll cover some aspects of society. And then in the end, I will lift it up again and go at a higher level again. So we're going to start from there, go down at society level, and then take it up. So before I start, can I ask anyone out here, what do you mean by oneness? Just tell. I mean, right or wrong, it doesn't matter. No one's giving any marks.
Non-duality.
Who said non-duality? Okay. Anyone else?
The Mool method.
हाँ जी बोलो.
Basically humanity.
There's something surely going on down under. In a positive sense. Because no one has said out here what everyone tells me otherwise always, God is one. That is not Guru Nanak's oneness. My life's 45 probably years till it started dawning on me were wasted. Because of only one thing, that I was taught God is one. And every author I read told me God is one, God is one, God is one. I only realized much later, Nanak is talking about something very, very different. If I by chance don't say Guru Nanak Dev Ji or Guru Nanak Ji, Guru Nanak Sahib, excuse me because he's my friend. I'm talking to him. You're not talking to him, right? So excuse me. मैं जितना बोलना बोलना मेरा सत्कार थे पूरी वड्डी डॉक्यू सीरीज बनाई है. So if I even miss saying Guru, excuse me, it's me and him. Okay? Guru Nanak's oneness is something totally different, and we're going to talk about that. But let's start with this fundamental thing. What did Guru Nanak do? You know, I grew up in a place, I was born in a place called Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh. I went into an English medium school. I grew in a place which is 20 kilometers away from a place called Maghar. Anyone read Gurbani and Maghar? Does anyone know Maghar? Guru Nanak, when Kabir Ji all throughout lived in Varanasi, and when his last days came, he went to Maghar to breathe his last. Because the priestly class in Varanasi had said, if you come to Varanasi and breathe the last, you go to up there heaven. I don't know which heaven it is, but up there in the heaven, right? But if you go to this place called Maghar, and by the way, the historical context of Maghar is because Maghar is close to the Magad kingdom. You know, it's Magad kingdom. Buddhism was on its rise. Buddhism was opposing the priestly class at that time. And when you oppose a priestly class, you get a backlash. And therefore this famous thing was made. Because Magad had footprints of, not that we see it now, but when I read history, it has footprints of, it had a vihar, Bodhi vihar. So this thought process was said that if you go and die in that Bodhi vihar area, you're gonna go to hell. So better come to us. You understand how the conflict is happening? This is where the oneness is getting thrashed out. You're not believing in oneness, you're creating doubts. So Guru Nanak, I was born there, and I always felt that, you know, when I read Guru Nanak, sorry, not Guru Nanak, Kabir Ji, I used to find Kabir Sahib written in Guru Granth Sahib, and the verses are there, but they are different. 80% there, but words are different. Rahatuk is not there in Bijak, but it is there in Guru Granth Sahib. And Bijak is written many, many years after Guru Granth Sahib. So why I'm giving this context is, it dawned on me when we were filming Guru Nanak's docu-series in Baba Farid's place in Pak Patan. We pulled the camera and I'm looking at it. I can read Urdu, by the way. So I'm looking at the kalams written on that, and they are 100% matching with Guru Granth Sahib. They're not written in Gurmukhi, they're written in Urdu. 100% match. And I grew up on the footsteps of Kabir Sahib, and I don't find 100% match there. Clearly, the compilation that Guru Arjan Ji does of bringing together 15 Bhagats actually was seeded by Guru Nanak when he went to Baba Farid's place on 2 occasions in his travels in Pak Patan. And what Guru Nanak did was a very simple thing. He sowed something. In those days, traditions were given through Guru Shashya Parampara. Guru Shishya Parampara, you don't write down. Today you can go to a Kirtaniya and he'll write down the notes. That's not how music is to be taught. That's why we are not learning the art of music. Because you would sit down, you would press the foot of the Guru, you would clean the bed sheets, you would clean his utensils, cook food for him, then you get something valuable. Today you can pay for it and you get it, right? Value is reduced. I said if you give something free of charge, the value goes to 0, but value also goes to 0 if you pay for it, right? Because you don't value it, right? So Guru Nanak Sahib goes to Baba Farid's place and he starts documenting. We always in our narrative say Guru Arjan Ji brings it together. The seed starts at Guru Nanak. And now at a time when there's no internet, at the time of 5th Guru, and there is no printing press either. By the way, printing press as a technology only comes in 1870s. There's no printing press right now. Anything that you have to transmit, what does the internet do and what does printing press do? It makes the ease of transmission of information. When there's no ease of transmission of information, then what's going to happen? The barriers to cascade the information is so huge, but Guru Nanak's this thought at that time when the Guru Shishya Parampara, you would not document it. He documents Baba Farid's verses, and in Punjab, that's why I think my hypothesis is because Guru Nanak documented in the Guru Granth Sahib, in Baba Farid's places, when they took it from the source of Guru Granth Sahib, that's why it matches. And Kabir Ji's place, it's so far away from UP, when it travels into Punjab, it goes through changes. It goes to Bengal, it goes through changes. It goes to Maharashtra, it goes through changes. It goes to Karachi, it goes through changes. Clear? So he does this. Now in the 5th Guru's time, the beauty of oneness starts from this. And I look at sometimes why Guru Nanak's adherents today are not able to understand this. What are we fighting for? Our history is filled with problems. Our history is filled with problems. I'm not running away from that. Chota ka lukara, vada ka lukara, Nadir Shah coming, this, that. You are a Sikh because you have to face it. Don't run away from it. But if you run away from the fact what Guru Nanak was trying to do, you've shaken your roots. Embrace history and embrace future with that pride. But don't run away from that oneness. And this is the oneness where he brings together 15 saints from across the Indian subcontinent into the Guru Granth Sahib. That's the inclusivity, diversity, oneness in practical examples out here. Joydev Ji in Bengal, see the docu-series, I think 11th or 12th episode. Baul singers in Bengal are singing unknowingly the verse of Guru Granth Sahib in their Bhagat Joydev Kondali's temple. Unknowingly. It takes us to film to figure out, this is from there. Is it from there or is it gone from here to there? I don't know. But this is what Guru Nanak was doing by seeding it. Namdev from Maharashtra, Kabir Sahib. I've discovered Nanak much after Kabir. I grew up in the feet of Kabir, right? Kabir Sahib in Punjab, all this that he was doing, the writings of 15 saints who were all family-oriented, economic contributors and human rights advocates. Guru Nanak today and Kabir Sahib and all of them are boxed into a religion. But they are actually human rights advocates. They are social reformers. It's the masses who could not understand anything other than God, that they had to pick up this stick of God to beat you with it to make you understand the roots of social reform. I was just 2 months back, I was in Punjab and I was speaking in Taran Taran, heart of Majha belt. I was a bit afraid. Not because I was afraid, because my works are very inclusive, right? I was a bit afraid. I said, "Kidre muh to kuch galat nikal gaya, pata nahi mere Baba Deep Singh Devangan mein bhi." You know. Sorry if anyone's from Majha out here. I didn't mean to say that, but but I was a bit afraid. I loved it when one guy at the end of it got off and he said something that touched my heart so profoundly. He said, "Amardeep Sahab, आज अगर मैं कुछ सीखिया है ना, तो मैं वापस जा रहे हैं अपने पिंड, क्योंकि मेरे पिंड दे अंदर अजे भी 2 शमशान घाट ने। एक शमशान घाट है जट्टां दा ते एक मजहबियां दा। In death also we have not found equality. In death, in that body that doesn't breathe, there's no equality. What are we talking as Guru Nanak's adherents and oneness? Do we get what I'm talking about? We as community are far away from Guru Nanak's principles. Accept it. We can pat our back, we can feel good about it, We are far, far away. In death, you can't burn two people in the same place, means you've lost the plot. Totally lost the plot. This is what Guru Nanak was trying, diversity into inclusivity. Let's start, as I said, first with cultures. We'll then, top down I'm coming first, okay? Philosophy, they'll go down and we'll go up then. I start with a tribute to Baba Farid's place of oneness. From Guru Nanak docu-series, episode number 3.
इंसानियत ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਮਜ਼ਹਬ ਹੈ ਇਨਸਾਨੀਅਤ ਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਉਹੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਬਾਬਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਉਹੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਫਰੀਦੁੱਦੀਨ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਔਰ ਬਾਬਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੀ ਮੁਹੱਬਤ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਇਜ਼ਹਾਰ ਮੈਂ ਬਿਆਨ ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਫਰੀਦੁੱਦੀਨ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰਾਂ फरीदा खाक ना निंदिए खाको जेद ना कोए जिंदिया पैरा हेठे मोया ऊपर होए फरीदा फरीदा Farida
So this is the place where Guru Nanak demonstrated his reason for inclusivity, diversity, oneness by incorporating the messages of Baba Farid, which comes to us later on, right? मैं जी गल की थी कि भाई शमशान घाट नहीं जला सकते इकट्ठे भी तो इतने वही गल कर रहे हैं कि भाई even the soil is so humble while we are alive it is under our feet and when we are dead it covers our body on top. That's humility, and in death we can't even find equality, right? I talked about this and I want to show you what Guru Nanak's vision was and what the house of Nanak by the time of the 5th Guru was demonstrating. Joydev Kenduli, near Shanti Niketan, Bhagat Joydev's birthplace. Asi Jayadev kehne hain, but I have gone and walked the talk. I'm going to speak the Bengali way of saying Joydev. Right? They say as Joydev. Baul singers.
কয়েকটা বাণী জয়দেবের গুরু নানকের বই লেখা আছে যার জন্য শিখ ধর্মরা খুব জয়দেব ভগৎ জয়দেবজিকে খুব মানেন এই হচ্ছে জয়দেবের এটা ছিল জয়দেবের জন্মস্থান
Bhagat Jayadev was renowned for his lyrical poem.
I'm going to skip this just in interest of time, but that's what I wanted to show, that Guru Granth Sahib's verses are being sung there. It has come here. There's east, there's west. Why? Guru Nanak proposes oneness. And we're going to start going towards oneness. Guru Nanak proposes. Guru Nanak does not dispose. Because his entire journey is about dialogues. Dialogues can only have with propositions and discussions. And Guru Nanak says this, hear this verse, and I'll let it speak for itself, and then we'll have a discussion on it.
Guru Guru Eko
open-mindedness to discuss and assimilate diverse philosophical views has historically been a unique strength of the Indic culture. Guru Nanak's acknowledgement of the 6 Indic philosophical systems, Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisesika, Mimamsa and Vedanta, is a reflection that he respected freedom of thought. However, above all, he endorsed the doctrine of oneness as paramount.
So let's start with this. I played this before, so I didn't ask you that question. But I've experienced this many a times. You know, this is from a Kirtan Soila. Chhe ghar, chhe gur, chhe updesh, right? And I've asked many a times, can you tell me what are the 6 kar? Now the answer is in front of you. It's 6 philosophies, Shat Darshan. In the Indian tradition, the Shat Darshans are 6 Indian philosophies. Religion is a garb over a philosophical thought. Agree or no?
100%.
Philosophy is deep down. Thought process is deep down. Socio-economic situation, socio-cultural situation will create a garb that you have to put on top of that thought. And there's space for that. We don't have to remove it, right? We all come from a certain cultural aspect, social aspect, economical aspect, background, history, that's fine. But at the deep rooted, the philosophy has a certain root. And Guru Nanak is saying, Chhe ghar, chhe gur, chhe updesh. There are Shat Darshan. In my culture of this Indian subcontinent, at the grassroots level, there are 6 philosophies. Chhe ghar, ghara philosophies. Chhe gur, there are 6 proponents of that. Chhe updesh, there are 6 sermons of that. Chhe ghar, chhe gur, chhe updesh. Gur gur eko, ves anaik. Amongst all these proponents, the supreme guru is only one. Ves anek. And then he says, Baba je ghar karte kirat hoy. In whichever philosophy the divinity and the oneness of life is cherished, so ghar raag vadai toi. That's the greatest home. Has he negated a philosophy? It's a space for it. Guru Nanak, as I said earlier, like Bhagat Kabir and all the other Bhagats, will pick up a lat and will hit you hard if you get into rituals. Will hit you hard if you do caste discrimination. Will hit you hard if you do man-woman discrimination. Will hit you hard for all discriminations that you do. But philosophically, no. Anyone who attaches through that path into the oneness, they will appreciate it. It's a proposal, not a disposal. Yes or no? I'm telling you with proofs out here. Yeah? Okay. With that background, now let's go up to the philosophical message of Guru Nanak. What do we understand by Ik Onkar?
Everyone's the same.
Who said that? You said?
Created by one.
So you said it. Everything is same. You said it. So I can stop this presentation here now. Let's go home. This is something that has kept me disillusioned for long enough. Because every Indian author, every English author, you see, मैं नहीं कह रहा, गुरमुखी बड़ी जगह लिखा हुआ है. गुरमुखी के संध्या के अंदर, टीकियां के अंदर, there are many learned people who are writing, and they are telling the right thing. But Gurmukhi is not accessible by our generations nowadays everywhere. So there are a lot of people who get it. I'm not the only one. A lot of people get it. I'm not here with something new I've revealed for myself. I studied in an English medium school. So I discovered this much later on, the realization that what every English book is writing, Guru Nanak, your Wikipedia says, Introduction of Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak, the founder of Sikh faith, founder of the monotheistic faith, Sikh faith. Monotheism is when God is one. When God is one, then God is distinct from you. Then comes the duality. God is not me and me is not God. Kabir Sahib says, Khalak, Khalak. Khalak mein Khalik. Creator is the creation. Creation is the creator. In the Western world, we are dealing with a monotheism. Monotheism is God is one, but if God is one, then it's dual. You and God is different. Then you need a son of God to take you there. Guru is wisdom. Guru is wisdom. There was a time when the body guru was there to guide you. Now there's a Shabad guru to guide you. Is wisdom. Wisdom is to take you into that oneness. There's no difference in that and me. Bhagat Ravidas says, Tohi, Mohi, Mohi, Tohi, Antar kaisa? Kanak Kataka Jal Tarang jaisa. Like a bracelet and the gold bangle, the bracelet and the gold, which is making that, it's the same way. Like the wave in the ocean and the wave is the same thing, right? So that's what you're talking about. Okay, Omkar. This is a representation of three. Whether you take the Om or you take this Omkar. This Trinity represents not the Western Trinity. I'm not talking about the Christian Trinity out here. The Trinity out here is the energy which is right below, which creates, sustains and destroys, which our mind does not understand and wants to give it a form. So there comes the form which our forefathers, because we're coming from the same culture, have made the form of Brahma, who's the creator, Vishnu, who's the sustainer, Shiva, who's the destroyer. But we came into this room just about an hour back. There's an energy that came together, the energy got created. It's sustaining right now. Give it a little while, it'll finish off. This is Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. My body comes into a form, it'll sustain for 70 years, 80 years, 60 years, who knows, it'll finish off. Right now it's sustaining, it's an element, what we trying to decide as Vishnu, I'm not saying, but at the end of the day, it's the same energy. We want to call it as Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, you want to call it as creator, sustainer, destroyer, it's up to you, what do you want to call it. I'm not giving any names. But the energy as at the substratum is that energy from where we come, it's the nothingness. Like what Buddha says, we are nothing. Because if you think your ego is saying that I've made the falling, you will take nothing from this world. You came from zero, from nothing. You will go into nothing and your possessions will also go into nothing. That's the power of that substratum of the energy. When that energy which has no form takes an akar, it becomes Omkar. Akar is what? To take form. Form can be physical, it can be subtle, because what dog can hear above 20,000 hertz, you and I can't hear, but the dogs, that frequencies are still there. Akar is there, right? What is visible, not visible, there, not perceivable is all akar. But it's coming from nothing in the Trinity. And to put one above that, this is where the problem is. All this time I've been taught this one means God is one. It means this Trinity and this energy which is creating, sustaining, destroying and coming in the form is intertwined into what he said, everything is one. If you can just understand this, we've finished our presentation. Because then there's no difference between me and you. There's no difference between this and me. Although I may say it's not living, I'll also become not living one day. There's no difference between that tree and me. You start respecting the tree. You would want more trees to grow. There's no difference between a Christian and a Hindu and a Muslim and anyone else. We're all the same. We're wearing a garb. Everything starts finishing off. You want to have political boundaries? I mean, what? There's no difference. Live, let's embrace each other. Let's embrace not each other as humanity. Let's embrace the creation even beyond earth. That's simple. So when you go back from this room, if there's only one message, we'll continue with the presentation. Do not take the message of God is one. And if you don't like it, what I'm saying, leave it, it's my limitation. I've told you, I'm standing here to give you something, you don't like it, leave it. No one's forcing you to believe it. But what I have understood, I'm telling you, everything is one. Okay? So we've now established the top. Look, and I'm going to spend 5 minutes here and then move on for the next few videos. Mool mantra is the most fundamental mantra is jo man nu tarda hai, direction change karta hai. And that's what Mool mantra is, right? this ek onkar which I said, the trilogy, I've already explained, the manifestation, the onkar, ik, I want to just focus on one thing out here, just 2-3 words, and I'll leave it there. Sat Nam. Most of our English translations are doing, all English translations, now what are they saying? God is one, ek onkar. True is its name. So what do I have to do if its name is true? How does it matter to me? Have you ever wondered that? True is its name. Who's given the name? Naam is reflection. And this will come again and again in the docu-series. Naam is contemplation, situational. Contemplation, reflection, deeper insights within you. Whatever is outside is within you. Jo brahmande so pinde. It's inside you. So whatever you are reflecting internally is your cosmos inside, right? Whatever is outside, we are part of that. But when you're reflecting on it, when you contemplate, that's the Naam. Now some traditions will say this is the Naam. Let me tell you a secret. Fine. I'm not disputing that. That's a way. But I hope that person realizes the biggest name is to reflect within on your situations. That's the reflection. From there sprouts the seed of Udasi. Your Udasi. No physical Udasi. Your Udasi will, the birha inside you, reflection will result in. That reality, that is the only reality, Sat, this substratum of this entire creation that is there, what we said, ek onkar. Reflection will lead you to the understanding of this truth, that is all that is there. The meaning changes, right? Sat Naam, it doesn't matter to me if God's name is Sat or Naam, right? So I now say it means to me. Agla, and I'll just say 2 of them and I'll stop there. Nirpaho. Once we say, in the English translation says, he is without fear. First and foremost, the energy is not he. Energy is genderless. Guru Nanak says, Ape Purak, Ape Nari. So where are you saying? All our translations are warped. He is without fear. Who is he? So my 50% of my population here, my mothers, my sisters, my daughters, do not belong to us. That makes sense? So there's no gender inside this. Nirpaho, once I have realized that everything is one singular system from which, like a bubble, I've come up today for 70 years and I will submerge inside this, I become fearless because I have nothing to lose. And when I now look back and I say, going into all these challenging areas, the challenges I faced, somehow it was a small chalak of being a Nirpaho at that time. I'm not saying I'm fully Nirpaho, but I aspire to get to that state. The more I understand, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nirvair, when you understand everything around me is me alone, then what do I have to have enmity against you? Why do I need to fight with politics? Why do I need to fight with someone else? Why do you need something else different? We will all be one, right? Make sense or no? So, Mool Mantar is a mantar. Your mind has to be tweaked. It doesn't matter if God has the attribute of being fearless or being without enmity. How does it matter to me? And if that God has it, then I am also that, right? Does it make sense or no? Or is it too philosophical?
Too philosophical.
Thank you so much. Let's move on then. Time to move on. But I appreciate that. Yeah? So as I said, we are going from top and going down. But if you feel it's too philosophical, it has taken me 45 years to understand this. This basic thing. That there is everything one. And I appreciate your honesty, but go back and reflect on this fact that God is not different from us. We are one. We'll start living together. And now let's come back to the basics. Because the toughest thing is philosophy right up there. If you understood that everything is one, now let's come back and see downwards how Guru Nanak is implementing. He picks it up from the cultures, brings it all together, takes it up, everything is one. Now, how does he implement it in society? I'm going to give you 2-3 examples. If you see the docu-series, you'll find many examples. Okay? Human rights advocacy. The story about Malik Pago and Pai Lalo. एक पासों रोटी दबाई, एक पासे खून निकल रहा है, एक पासे मिल्क निकल रहा है. That's myth, mythology, miracles. But The essence of that story is equality in the society between the rich and the poor. The high and the low is what Guru Nanak is talking about. That's also his oneness, right? Yeah? So let's hear to this one. The food that he eats at Bhai Lalu's place tastes like milk because it's been earned through hard work. But the food that he would eat at Malik Bhagu's place would taste like blood because it's been earned by violating the rights of the poor people.
ऐसे जन विरले जग अंदर परख खजाने पाया जात वरन ते पै अतीता ममता लोभ चुकाया नाम रते तीरथ से निर्मल दुख हो मैं मैल चुकाया नानक दिन के चरण पखाले जिन्ना गुरमुख साचा पाया।
In this materialistic world, such people are exceptional who have the wisdom to face the light of knowledge by giving up the darkness of ignorance. This incident brings out the significant precept in Guru Nanak's philosophy about social justice, human rights, and integrity. He further expounded that a person is inferior or noble through deeds and not by simply being born in a family of a particular caste or religion.
So, if anyone has not understood this by, there's no problem. The fact is, Guru Nanak is saying here, ऐसा जग विरला, जग में बड़ा कोई, only very few will understand the essence that everything is one. That's what he's saying. So if we have not understood, we have to strive for it. Because one fine day the spark bulb will light up, that Ekokar is everything is one. It's as simple as that, right? And in this Shabad, he goes on to say, the next, which is not shown here, but you'll find a docu-series. He goes on to say, and if you don't understand that simplicity, he goes on to say, for a Muslim, us suwar, us gai, right? He says, for a Muslim, it's like eating pork. And for a Hindu, it's like eating a cow. If you can't understand this thing. Now, of course, practices have changed. Today, people may be eating anything and everything, but understand the intent, what he's saying, right? He's shaking the entire system. Okay, so this is at a caste level. So that one is talking about a caste level, rich and poor level, right? That's where the differences come in. Now we're talking about, when we're saying God is one, he is this thing and she is taken away. Now he's a woman's advocate. Right? We often just quote mostly this one Shabad of Pandamiye, right? You know, she gives birth to kings. Of course, she gives birth to kings and to queens also, right? But there are so many, you can have 1 hour session just from the docu-series on Guru Nanak's advocacy for women. There's so much of content inside it. You just need to understand. But we'll show you one element here. And here he's going to play with the two words, jhoot and choot. Jhootha ho gaya ki koi jhootha kar dena, right? Khana. But he's going to apply it on the society level. Jhootha, when you shun her. And that's the lie. Choot, that's the lie. He's talking about women's advocacy when in her periods or when she gives childbirth, there's a practice called sutak. Sutak means you are impure at this point of time. That practice was probably in the social system for giving her energy. Because woman by nature is there to give birth to our generations. The female species' primary objective is to give biological progression to our society, right? And when she goes through her cycles, she gets depleted of her energy. When she gives birth, she gets depleted of her vital resources. And to give her that time to recoup is probably why the society had developed this so-called, which became a negative thing, of sutak, that she's impure. That's how religious denomination takes it into. So in Varanasi, he's giving a very profound message.
During Guru Nanak's times, many rituals relating to matters of purity and untouchability had been formulated by the priestly class. One such ritual was the observance of Sutak, which means impure, during which women had to abstain from entering the kitchen, visiting temples, or attending social functions while going through their menstrual cycle. They also had to refrain from these activities during confinement after giving birth. While this tradition was well intended to replenish the physical strength of women, unfortunately, it had taken the form of a strict religious adherence.
नित नित होए सुचै ना किए बहंज पिंडा तोए सुचे जिन मन बसया
To produce life is a biological phenomena bestowed upon women, without which the human race will cease to exist. Guru Nanak rebuked observance in the name of religion, which discriminated and belittled others. He vehemently raised his voice against gender inequality.
So this is at a society level. It still exists today, right? Today, women's empowerment has turned into something, don't get me wrong, please, if I'm going to say something. Speaking in a Western society, but I have worked in the corporate world for long enough. Women's empowerment today is doing job. That's not the women's. Guru Nanak's talking about the empowerment here. You are doing a job at your kitchen also. You're doing a job with your children also. You can do a job outside. There's no problem with that. But today's entire empowerment has got boxed into doing a job 9 to 5 outside. And that's what Guru Nanak is challenging. It's here. Empowerment is here. Now I'm going to raise it above. Slowly bringing it to an end now. Because we've gone into elements of society and we can continue to talk about the society. The entire docu-series is filled up with it. Now let's start raising it up again at a nature level. Because I said Guru Nanak's message is not oneness of humanity. It's too small a definition. It's too small a definition. It's the oneness of creation. Because every aspect is a part of me and I'm a part of that. The problem is when we look at it from a human aspect, our ego doesn't allow us to see beyond. Guru Nanak is going beyond. And so let's lift it up. Can anyone recognize which temple this is? Jagannath. Although the segment will talk about it, but let me actually just give you an interesting fact. It's in Odisha, by the way, it's not South India, Odisha. Interesting fact. You know, the word bazaar went into the English language through India? Yeah? The word juggernaut comes from Jagannath. What do you mean by juggernaut? Tell me, are you all sleeping or what? Juggernaut, what do you mean? You can be wrong, so what? I mean, how does it matter?
Massive.
Huh?
Massive.
Massive, harfan, hanji.
Something that's unstoppable.
Exactly, unstoppable. Harfan mola. Harfan. Fun is anything that you can do. Every fun, every passion, everything that you want to do, everything that you want. Harfan mola means you can do it. That's what a juggernaut is. Unstoppable. If I want to do something, nothing will stop me. I'll do it because I've got that ability to do it, right? Are you and me harfan molas? There's only one thing that's harfan mola in this world. Creation. We're not talking about humans. That's creation. That's nature. When the nature wants to subside and embrace, it'll do everything. When it wants to destroy, there's no stopping, right? We've seen it. There's only one element that is a harfan mola, and that's Jagannath, Jagdanath. Jagdanath, Jagda, supreme being. And in Jagannath Mandir, although the idol is there, it's interestingly not made of stone. It's always made of wood. Jagannath idol is always made of wood, and it is a representation of nature. Jagdanath, juggernaut, which English took it as. Unstoppable. Guru Nanak's message here, which I have been always told, is Guru Nanak ne aarti ne ridicule kita. But aarti kar rahe the, he said this is not the aarti. No, Guru Nanak is not there to ridicule anything. Guru Nanak is simply asking a question, looking at the nature. Now he's lifting you up. He's taking you to that oneness of nature. At Jagannath, that idol which represents the Lord of creation in the form, he's saying, Kaisi aarti hove bhavkanna teri? It's a question he's posing. It's not, a lot of times in the Gurdwaras I was taught about, he's negating it. It's not a negation. Nanak will not negate. Nanak is a very rational person. If he'll negate, then he may not be allowed inside the temple also. He's there to have a dialogue. And when you have to have a dialogue is had when Nanak says, Jab lag duniya rahiye Nanak, kich suniye kuch kahiye. First listen and then impart. So he has to listen and he has to impart. This is his word saying it, right? Witnessing the aarti being performed at the Jagannath temple, Guru Nanak composed a hymn stressing on the importance of respecting nature over mere ritualistic practices.
कैसी आरती होए भव खंडना तेरी आरती कैसी आरती
That's Jagannath.
खंडना तेरी आरती कैसी आरती होए कैसी आरती होए पव खंडना तेरी आरती अनहत शब्द वजंत पेरी गगन में थाल रव चंद दीपक बन तार कमंडल जनक मोती मलयान लो पवन चवरो करे सगल बन राय फूलंत ज्योति कैसी यारती होए कैसी यारती कैसी यारती कैसी यारती
Guru Nanak says, since the omnipresent is manifested within every aspect of nature, how can its greatness be venerated by worshipping only a few forms of its expansive creation?
That's it. How can we limit ourselves? The divinity is everything. And Guru Nanak says, Jo Brahmande, so Pinde. That universe exists here. It's no different. You may be a heart of that creator's vastness. You may be a liver. I may be a lung of that big scheme of things, which also exists in this consciousness here, where there's a heart, which heart doesn't ask for permission to stop working. It has its own consciousness. Liver has its own consciousness. White blood cells have their own consciousness. They work in their own tandem to make this system run. Similarly, the entire nature runs on the collaboration of everything. And if there's a collaboration, then how are you different? You're just a speck. You're a collaborative universe. And the oneness he respects in Baghdad. Let's hear this, and I'll in Baghdad, this is a Pir Abdul Qadir Gilani site, because I'll let this play for itself.
One day, during their stay in Baghdad, Guru Nanak and Bhai Mardana, while in awe of divinity, were singing a verse which propounded the message of omnipresence. They expressed that even though the Vedas, the Hindu scriptures, say that one can get weary of counting numerous worlds, Katibs, the Islamic scriptures, state that there are 18,000 worlds. But there is only one omnipresent entity, and rest is its manifestation.
Patala, patal, lag agasa, ओढ़क ओढ़क पाल थके वेद कहन एक बात सहस 18 कहन कतबा असलू एक तात लिखा हुए तां लिखिए लिखे हुए विनाश नानक वड्डा खिया आपे
This is the essence. Aape jane aap. If we realize that we are part of this oneness, the Islamic scriptures might say 18,000 words. The Vedas might say multitudes. The creations are many. This is the diversity. And this is what Guru Nanak is showing in terms of bringing the diversity of Baba Farid and the 15 diverse saints of the Indic culture into one message of oneness. That's why he's showing this diversity. And you expand it across the worlds, across the regions, across the universes. Ultimately, you have to realize that element only within you. That's it. Right? And we are bringing this to an end. Although we are today divided, we are getting, if we don't get our acts together, all communities will continue to get divided. But I want to reflect on those two powerful sayings not by us, the followers of Nanak, but by our forefathers' times, how the vastness of Nanak were embraced by people of diverse cultures and faiths. Two such poetries which are sung out here. Allama Iqbal, his poetry, Bange Dara, right?
तौहीद की पंजाब से हिंद को एक मर्द कामिल ने जगाया ख्वाब से.
Are we not in a khwab even right now? In a dream. Khwab is a dream. We are still living in a dream. Allama Iqbal is talking at that time. Allama Iqbal, by the way, today is embraced by Pakistan as the founder poet of Pakistan. But he's talking as a Punjabi poet. Fir uthi aakhir tawheed Punjab se. Tawheed is the call for oneness. Tawheed is oneness in their Islamic this thing. Again rose a voice. Again means fir uthi tawheed ki awaaz. Right? Punjab se. Hind ko jagaya ek marde kamil ne. He was a mard. He was a man of principle. He was the man who awoke this land on the east of Sindh, the Hind, from the deep sleep of slumber. Why? Because he's before in that poetry talking about this nation was sleeping for thousands of years. Buddha came. He's talking about Buddha first. He shook the system. He's giving credit to. But these people could not understand and appreciate Buddha and bound him again into idols and again into the same rituals and practices. Then arose Nanak. 550 years have passed by. If Allama Iqbal was to say this thing, probably he will have to have another couplet to this. Yes or no? Nothing has changed. And often after doing this docu-series, I wonder, has anything changed? That doesn't mean the great saints should not come. The great inspirers should not come. They should keep coming. But nothing has changed. That's the reality. So let's end this with Anand Narayan Mula's last, this is in the episode 24, we end with this. A beautiful verse of his.
Guru Nanak upheld the spark of oneness and unity in diversity. His cognizance was, is, and will remain a ray of hope for a united world.
जहाँ के बुझती हुई निगाहों का जगमगाता है बामे नानक ना पाक कोई ना कोई ना पाक कोई ऊंचा ना कोई नीचा.
This is the Indus River, by the way.
Our physical journey in the footsteps of Guru Nanak unfurled unique opportunities in our humble attempt to understand the essence of his profound philosophy. The process of unraveling the allegory of Guru Nanak has facilitated our ability to unlearn, relearn, and ponder on diverse perspectives of life. For us, the most liberating experience has been the realization that the universe is one comprehensive phenomenon, and that truthful conduct is the key to grasping its glory. Do ponder on your allegory.
Dharam is the universal law, not what we are loosely taught as religion. Dharam is the universal law under which we are all existing. Guru Nanak's verse, we end here by saying, Eko taram dride sach koi. Understand this universal law of ek, ikai, oneness. Drido snu apne andar drido. That's the only reality, sach koi. That's the only reality. Let me end by saying, na koi ucha, na koi pak, na koi napak. Pak is a pure, napak is impure. Na koi pak, na koi napak. Na koi ucha, na koi nicha. Let's end with that by saying that if you want to click the photograph, click this. You can see the docu-series there on the YouTube channel, Lost Heritage Books. OnenessinDiversity.com is our new project for the last 2.5 years that we are working on. You are the ones who have to be the marketing agents to tell your loved ones to invest time to see the 24 episodes. If you're not going to see it, it doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter. Someone somewhere is going to come and see it. All right? We will get our numbers. It really doesn't matter. People will see it and they are seeing it, right? So I leave it here with you. I know we've gone a bit over time, but these are emotional talks. I stretched the way I get the energy. You were giving me, the down under was giving me a good energy, so I just went on. Thank you so much. We have the next session, which is the total energy will change. I don't accept, and I don't have to ask for you to understand complex things. Next one. It's about Ranjit Singh's empire, although Sarbjot and the Interfaith Council, SY and all have written as Maharaja Ranjit Singh's empire, we will demystify it again. There is no Maharaja here. We will demystify it, okay? So stay on. And again, it's going to be an audio-visual presentation. Not now, we'll take a break and we'll come back, right? Thank you so much. If there are any question answer, you want to do it now or in the end, how do you want to do it? I'm okay.
I think we'll do it in the end because of the time.
Okay.